Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the USTA Foundation's first ever virtual capacity building graduation. I'm Dan Faber, the USTA Foundation's Executive Director. As you know, the capacity building program gives NJTL chapters the ability to strengthen and develop their organizations for long-term impact. The foundation launched its first national capacity program in 2014 and currently has 4 cohorts, 1 on a national level, 2 on a USTA sectional level, and 1 with a USTA district. Today, we are graduating our second national cohort, which began its capacity building journey in 2017. For 3 years, this group received intensive training, technical guidance, financial support, and ongoing assessment through various quantitative and qualitative methods to strengthen their organizations. Each chapter was assigned an account manager who mentored and guided them through monthly deliverables and exercises. In addition, staff and board members of the chapters attended biannual trainings. On behalf of the USTA Foundation Board of Directors and Foundation staff, congratulations to the 2020 Capacity Building graduates. It has been a phenomenal 3 years witnessing your leadership growth. This evening, we'll hear from Foundation board members, former capacity building graduates, program sponsors, staff, and the graduates themselves. So let's get going. I'm now going to turn the program over to the Foundation's Program and Services Director, Rob Holland. He, along with the Foundation's Program and Services National Manager, Jackie Matarasso, and Programs and Services Coordinator, Mark Impescato, will keep the program moving throughout the next hour. Enjoy, everyone, and thank you again for joining us. Rob, take it away.
Thanks, Dan, and hello, everyone. My name is Rob Holland, and I'm the Director of Programs and Services at the USTA Foundation. In this role, I'm proud to deliver the Foundation's mission with a truly amazing team. This year is very different for all of us. With the pandemic, we, like all of you, have had to be nimble and pivot to meet the changes and challenges of these very unique times. The Foundation wanted to ensure that NJTL programs and participants continue to receive opportunities and support throughout 2020. As such, the capacity building program continued its 3-year journey as planned. We're so excited to recognize our graduates today. This year's truly incredible group is made up of a number of great people and organizations. They are the ACE Project, Advantage Cleveland, Advantage Kids, Asociación de Tenis de Puerto Rico, Birmingham Area Tennis Association, Border Youth Tennis Exchange, Delray Beach Youth Tennis Foundation, First Serve New Mexico, First Serve Miami, Frontline Outreach, Greater Pottstown Tennis and Learning, Greensboro Tennis Foundation, Hastings Tennis Association, the International Tennis Hall of Fame and Team Fame, Mock Academy, Metropolitan Tennis and Education Group, NJTL Fort Collins, NJTL of Bennington, Vermont, San Antonio Tennis Association, Seattle Tennis and Education Foundation, Sierra Junior Tennis Association, and Todd Martin Youth Leadership. Even though we aren't in the same room and they can't hear us, please join me in giving this year's recipients a round of applause. We will hear from each of these amazing organizations and leaders shortly. But right now, we will hear from former world number 1 and 18-time Grand Slam champion, Chris Everett. The USTA Foundation is so proud to have her as our chairperson. Chris?
Thank you, Rob. And congratulations to each of you. It's just truly incredible what you have achieved through your participation in this capacity building program. And from what I've heard, you've each had quite a journey through this program. I'm proud of each and every one of you for working hard to build your NJTL chapters into sustainable organizations that will continue to serve our most under-resourced youth across the country. And even in the face of a global pandemic, you've used what you've learned over these past few years to pivot and continue to provide the quality programming that we know is needed. Your participants thank you, your community thanks you, and the USTA Foundation thanks you. So stay safe, stay healthy, and keep up the great work. Thanks.
My dear friends, you did it. Congratulations. Today, you graduate. 3 years of workshops, deliverables, deadlines, deliverables, roundtables, and more deliverables. And you did this with each other, with friendship and camaraderie, and all the things that unite us in our missions. Stay healthy, stay strong. You are all champions.
What is up, capacity building graduates? Congrats on finishing this amazing USTA Foundation program and all the hard work that has gone into it over the past few years. It is now time to celebrate and reflect on how far you as a director and your programs have grown as a result. And as a graduate of the program, I still really value the ability to call upon many of the mentors and directors that were in my cohort for advice or just a vent after a long day. I really have enjoyed getting to know many of you and your amazing programs, and I look forward to working alongside you in the NJTL network in the future. Congrats again, and enjoy the moment. You deserve it.
Congratulations, graduates. As a participant in the NJTL Capacity Building Program, I understand the journey you've been on and just how hard you've been working over the last several years. And you did it. You're done. You're graduating. And if you're anything like me, you're probably excited and a little bit anxious as you think about all the things you still want to accomplish with your NJTL. I remember being worried that all the support I received through the capacity building program would end upon graduation. And I am happy to say that it has not. I still talk with many of my cohort friends, and the USTA Foundation is still supporting the NJTL I once led. Now I'm a section ED, and I still refer to many of the resources and teachings that I learned in this program. And in case you didn't already know, you are critical to the mission of the USTA. So I want to thank you for all you do for tennis. But the NJTL mission is broader and more important than tennis alone. And the world needs NJTL angels like you more than ever to unite us and build up a new generation of leaders. Thanks so much for all you do for our kids, and congratulations again on your graduation.
Thank you, Chrissy, and thank you to the former capacity building graduates. Chrissy has been an outstanding addition to the foundation since becoming chairperson in 2019. And as inaugural cohort graduates, Mabi, Addison, and Becky's support has allowed us to help our program participants to fulfill their potential. Thank you all. My name is Jackie Matarasso, and I am the National Manager of Programs and Services at the USTA Foundation. In this role, I'm proud to work closely with chapters across the country to deliver the Foundation's mission of bringing tennis and education together to change lives. Now, it's time to hear from this year's recipients in their own words. Some will share with us how the capacity building program helped overcome specific challenges. Others will share their personal development over the past 3 years. And others will share words of wisdom for developing chapters. Let's take a look.
The capacity building program has provided us the tools and a pathway to launch a new chapter. The learning curve was steep. It's a lot of work, which has allowed us to really accelerate the process. In our first 7 months, we went from concept to developing our program and welcoming our first class of 5th grade students. We had the additional challenge of a late start into the program, but managed to get caught up very quickly. The 4 areas most instrumental to our development were the generous funding received through the capacity building grants, the intensive learning at the biannual conferences, the advice from fellow chapter leaders, and technical support from our account manager. Throughout our time in the program, we went from launch to a 2-star chapter. There are many challenges ahead, but I have learned that we are not in this alone. Today, we celebrate each other. Through the skills we've learned, combined with our nimbleness and can-do attitude, we've been able to continue operations during the pandemic. The power of the network continues to guide us and challenges us to evolve for greater impact.
Hi, everyone. Wish we were together. Maybe another time. I remember our capacity trainings as being a tool necessary to enhance our programs, and then we were allowed to create and expand the program based on our community. The professional training helped me appreciate and share Arthur Ashe's vision, as well as understand the operational aspects of a nonprofit organization. Reflective practice, networking, collaboration made each and every experience memorable. I'm so grateful to learn from so many unique and wonderful people and to have the opportunity to share with other executive directors. Together, we celebrated those accomplishments and we learned from our failures. This supportive environment was critical for my personal growth, and I thank the entire staff of the USTA Foundation for allowing it to happen.
A specific challenge that the capacity building program helped us with at staff was when we began to recognize that the trauma that the kids had experienced in their life was affecting how they reacted to the program. We knew some of the kids had experienced issues like homelessness, food insecurity, recent immigration, loss of a loved one, and other sorts of trauma, and that these were causing issues with self-regulation and emotional control. The cohort training had a whole session on how trauma affects children, and it helped us to understand why the kids were acting the way that they were. We had to make creating a safe, calm environment a priority and to build trust. So as eager as we were to improve math or reading skills, before that we needed to slow down and keep focusing our learning portion on life skills like social awareness, positive self-talk, and team building. Not only did the capacity building program provide us with a life skills curriculum to use, but also the program allowed us a budget to have staff to maintain a small ratio of instructor to child so that coaches had the time to get to know the kids and to listen to them when they had an issue or to resolve a conflict, and also allow enough staff to keep teaching with the bigger group. What impacted me most as a leader were the individual conversations that I had with mentors like Danis and Miguel when they came to visit. One particular memory was when they came around to each of us and asked what we were most passionate about. It surprised me to hear that each of us had different aspects of the program that meant the most to us. Some of us were more driven by the tennis, some the education and mentorship, and others had bigger goals in mind, like getting our own facility. Of course, we're all passionate about the larger mission of our NJTL, but it taught me that creating a team that complements each other with diverse talents, backgrounds, and different enthusiasm for different parts of the mission make for a stronger team. Just like having different types of shots at your disposal in a tennis match will make you a better player.
Hola, my name is Rosa Martinez. I am the Executive Director for Asociación de Tenis de Puerto Rico. So after I attended the first meeting, I was like, hey, this is what I needed. I really didn't realize all the resources and the support you had or you received with this opportunity. In every meeting, you had resources, speakers, best practice from other chapters and nonprofit organizations that help you a lot in management of the organization, lead people, maintain relationships with board members, volunteers, and donors. So it was very productive and I really enjoy it. Plus, having the book, they gave us the book, was a great plus. The president of the board of directors attended that meeting, and it was so great to include a volunteer from the board. It was very beneficial for both because it covered many important topics such as evaluations from executive directors, reviews for staff, succession planning, board engagement, marketing, and many other important things.
The one big takeaway I had from the capacity building program is that all of us have unique opportunities in our cities, towns, boroughs. It is up to us as great leaders to figure out what those opportunities are and how to best serve our under-resourced students.
Thank you, Marguerite, Sandy, Amy, Rosa, and Carrie Ann. These leaders and their organizations are part of a much larger network. The USTA Foundation's National Junior Tennis and Learning Network has over 250 chapters, nearly 2,700 coaches, and reaches more than 160,000 participants nationwide. It takes a team to execute the foundation mission and support our capacity building cohort. Next, we'll hear from two people we consider to be part of the foundation team and family, Mary Bushman and Miguel Garcia. Mary is the USTA Missouri Valley Executive Director and serves as the chair of the USTA's 17 section executive directors. Miguel Garcia has consulted for the foundation and worked closely with many of this cohort's graduates. Let's take a listen.
Congratulations to this year's graduates. On behalf of the USTA section executive directors, we are proud to see the hard work you each dedicated to the program for the past 3 years. 14 out of the 17 sections participated in this cohort, and that's outstanding. By focusing on organizational identity, strategic thinking and planning, tennis and educational programming, organizational development, human capital, and evaluation and assessment, you have strengthened your organizations and will undoubtedly impact your communities. Continue to use each other and your sections as resources. Continue to learn and share your knowledge with others so we can all continue to develop young people through tennis and education. Congratulations.
Good evening, graduates. This is Miguel Garcia from Houston, Texas. I want to congratulate all of you on your accomplishments in this program, the Capacity Building Class of 2017. First of all, the Capacity Building Program tools that each of you have mastered are important. We use them every day in Portland, whether it be the board roster to provide diversity to our board, whether it be the fund development plan templates to help us get a schedule and a calendar for writing grants, or whether it be just a marketing plan. All those tools that we had you go through laboriously over the last 3 years, it's not just busy work. They really are tools, and they really are properly deployed, very, very useful additions to helping you manage your organizations. Families have been really burdened with COVID over the last better part of 9 months. Many of them have lost their jobs. Most of them are trying to help their children get online to learn during the school day as well as the after school day. So outreach and engagement and support services for the families of our children, I think, is an important frontier issue that we are examining in Portland, and I would advise many of you, if you can, do so as well. I think the idea of non-traditional partnerships to create a rising tide for all boats is important. And I'm not speaking just about the traditional partners of schools and parks, but also non-traditional groups like churches, small business organizations, social clubs, et cetera. You know, we're finding also in Portland that these organizations are building better coalitions during COVID to essentially be prepared after COVID to support multiple funding platforms for each of the members of the coalition. There will be a lot of groups, a lot of constituencies beyond tennis and education. They'll be looking for assistance and for space and for partnerships. And if you are fortunate enough to either open a new facility in the next several years or to re-engage the existing facility, that safe haven concept where multiple stakeholders can thrive in a post-COVID world, I think works to our advantage, particularly when it comes towards political and financial remuneration. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you, Mary and Miguel. Your support and guidance for the Capacity Building Program is truly changing lives. My name is Mark Emboscado, and I am the Programs and Services Coordinator at the USTA Foundation. In this role, I'm proud to support the Capacity Building Initiative in key areas of growth and training, and would like to share some key facts about the program. This cohort has displayed a tremendous amount of growth in 4 key areas: star level, budget, programming hours, both educational and tennis, and number of youth participants, with this chart displaying that growth in terms of percentage increase of the cohort as a whole. While the increase in star level may seem like the ultimate goal, I think even more importantly are the underlying factors, including increasing the number of youth participants and programming hours, which truly can drive change within the community. While 50% of the chapters increase their star level, we see even bigger increases in those underlying factors, with roughly 80% of this cohort increasing in not only programming hours and youth participants, but also overall budget. Our mission is to bring tennis and education together to change lives. And if this cohort continues to increase youth participation and improve programming going forward, they will be primed for long-term success. I would like to echo other statements of how proud we are of this cohort. As facilitators, we could always help to guide these chapters, but it was ultimately up to the chapters themselves to dedicate the time and effort to adapt and evolve as organizations. And I think these results show just how dedicated you all were to improving and becoming leaders within the NJTL network. Now we hear from 6 more of our graduates who will share about the incredible bonds formed during their capacity building journey and some tools they're utilizing for continued success. Let's take a look.
The USTA Foundation Capacity Building Program is truly one of the best professional trainings that I've ever participated in, and that goes for personal development and organizational development. I was surprised to learn so much about board dynamics, communication, trauma-informed learning, to build relationships with other directors from across the country was so valuable, and also helped me to realize that we are doing so much more here than just teaching the sport we love to young people. Our potential for impact is so huge, and to be able to see firsthand what other organizations around the nation are doing in their tennis programs just showed me that sky's the limit. And I thought tennis was tennis, but now I realize it can be so much more, and we can really change lives through our tennis programs. Let's face it, these COVID times have been challenging. We created a ton of new stuff that we had to put on hold, and I had to pivot. And as a leader, it really was hard to pull through on that. And the support that we got from Jackie, Todd, Miguel, just those regular calls, the resources coming through, it was really valuable in helping to overcome the challenges of the pandemic.
Coming into the capacity building program, I tried to have an open mind about what to expect, but the program completely blew my expectations out of the water. It was so much more helpful and productive than I ever imagined. There are 2 things that surprised me most about the capacity building program. The first was the USTA Foundation's ability to develop trainings and deliverables that were appropriate and relevant to all of us. Despite the fact that we all serve in vastly different areas, deliver programming in different ways, and to populations of various backgrounds and ages. The second was the amazing network of executive directors that we had the privilege of getting to know, spending time with, and learning from. The connections that I've built with these individuals has had a profoundly positive impact on myself, my organization, my staff, and the youth we serve. And these are connections that are sure to continue for years and decades to come. We have truly formed a professional group that feels comfortable sharing our accomplishments as well as our struggles, and we utilize one another for resources, ideas, and anything else we may need.
So I started in 2018, and one of the first things I did was attend a conference in Orlando with a board member. And I remember leaving that weekend thinking that I had just been through a graduate level course. I was exhausted and overwhelmed and realized how much I didn't know about running a nonprofit. But the first conference actually gave us this structure, and every thing that we did thereafter was breaking that down to really understanding how to build the infrastructure of the organization. And I felt like that guidance and mentorship gave me a pathway to build from. The funding itself allowed us to take those risks. So I don't think we would have been able to expand to an after-school program, year-round programming without the support of the USTA Foundation. And by doing so, even though I had board members who were saying, don't do that, it's too risky, we don't have the finances to do that, knowing that we were in this capacity building program and we had the support of the USTA Foundation, it allowed us to try it and to move forward and to take that risk. So the fact that it was successful and we gained some new partnerships in that was just great. And so, but I don't think I could have done that. I think I would have been really lost without the cohort.
Thank you, Capacity Building, NJTL, and USTAF. The meetings we had for capacity building were extraordinary. We learned so much on how to think outside the box. We learned how to take our tools and rework them if necessary so that we could come out with a result that was totally outstanding. As a result of capacity building and lots of work, First Serve New Mexico is going to have a home of its own.
If there was one moment that I remember from the last couple years of capacity building, Miguel was visiting me in Nogales. I think it was about halfway through, and we had a good visit. I showed him my Mexican operations. I was super proud of them. I think he was pretty impressed, but we both knew that my Arizona operations had a lot to grow, and so Miguel and I, we got in the car, we got my Subaru Outback, and we're driving around the barrio, and we went and we found these public courts up near the Public Housing Authority, and Miguel goes, "That's where you're gonna have your Arizona program." And I was like, "Oh man, like come on, Miguel, don't put that on me. Like I don't want to do this right now. Like." It just seemed like a lot of work. And lo and behold, a year later, my whole Arizona operations was housed out of that Anza Park place. I had an office that had been given to us by the city where we kept our storage. And really that ended up becoming one of the parts of our program that I was almost the most proud of, because it was a community that I had to cultivate, that it wasn't handed to me through a network that I had. I really appreciated that mentorship. Thank you for pushing me and prodding me and really forcing me to get the most out of myself and out of that community.
The capacity building program gave MTech many tools and knowledge to overcome many challenges. There were the evaluations, the surveys, the plans, the mentors, the courtside consulting, workshops, and the on-site location visits. The most impactful tool that MTech received was when our mentor, Miguel, visited our location and attended our board meeting and facilitated our strategic plan. The outside input from an industry expert like Miguel was what we needed to get the whole board on track and to move forward to create a plan that could take us from where we were through to 3 years.
Thank you, Christy, Rebecca, Liz, Eleanor, Charlie, and Jerry. As Rob mentioned earlier, it takes a team to execute the foundation mission and support our capacity building cohort. It takes a great team, and we're thankful to have each team member named in these videos today as part of this cohort's success. We'll now hear from two USTA Foundation board members, Molly John and Raj Baswani, who serve as co-chairs of the board's Programs and Services Committee. The board's support is instrumental in the foundation's execution of its mission.
Thanks, Jackie. I've been a member of the Foundation Board of Directors for 8 years. A few years ago, I joined Jackie and others for the NJTL Essay Winners Weekend. Being engaged at that level re-energized my interest in the programs and services that we offer a network of chapters. This has led me to co-chair the Programs and Services Committee of the Board of Directors. In this role, my co-chair Raj and I work closely with the Programs and Services staff on all things related to the programs and services goals. and hearing about the accomplishments of this cohort has been rewarding. I hope you continue to put into practice all that you've learned to not only sustain, but to grow and serve even more youths in the years to come. And now let's also hear from my co-chair, Raj Vaswani. Raj?
Thanks, Molly. I feel the same way about being so closely involved in the programs and services work. Helping to guide the staff in the direction of growth and sustainability for the NJTL network has been extremely rewarding, and I'm proud of all that this cohort has accomplished over the past 3 years. Our Programs and Services Committee, Foundation staff, and other stakeholders are currently working to reimagine what capacity building will look like in 2021 and beyond. We know capacity building is a need for all chapters, regardless of size or star level. To that end, we seek to scale existing and new capacity building resources, services, and other support mechanisms to the entire NJTL network. It is our hope that these enhancements will lead to many more leaders like yourselves striving for excellence and becoming trusted partners in your respective communities. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Keep up the good work. Now we'll hear from the graduates again.
Hi, my name is Cindy Russell, and I'm the Executive Director for the San Antonio Tennis Association, also known as SATA. One of the challenges I've had of being the Executive Director is I've only done this for the past year. Before, I came from Miami and I was involved in USTA Junior Team Tennis. But being part of the NJTL program has been wonderful, and also having access to the capacity building grant, we've been able to do many different programs for our children, and we're growing tennis.
Hi, I'm Susie Harris from the Birmingham Area Tennis Association. What surprised me most about the capacity building program is that no matter what size each organization was, or how long they've been around, or if they were new, or had a lot of funding or didn't have a lot of funding, we all had similar challenges. And that was good to know, that we're not alone in the challenges that we have, and that we now have a network of people that we can call upon who've been through the same things and may have information that we need to help us in the future. Thank you to the USTA Foundation for providing this opportunity.
Well, my favorite experience would be the business chemistry class. In that class, we learned about different working styles. We learned to interact with each other and learned to implement that when we came back home. So it made us even stronger than what we were.
And what surprised you the most about the capacity building program?
What surprised me the most, I would say, is learning that USTA Foundation, they're amazing. They're amazing, and they're down to earth. They're easy to work with, and they care about more than just tennis. It's about education. It's about growing the whole child, taking a holistic approach to changing the institution and everybody in the community. They want to be here. They're here all the time. They like to have fun, but at the same time, we get business done. At the same time, we learn to build our staff. At the same time, we learn to introduce things into our organization that we wouldn't have never had a chance to do. We get to grow our board. We get to get a brand new amazing court like we have right here. USTA Foundation is probably one of the best organizations I've ever encountered since I've been in this business for over 30 years.
Before the capacity building, we were just doing the programs, but we really didn't have the resources to take care of the back end issues that we had with the programs. So a lot of things got lost as far as being able to expose kids to tennis around town and the educational opportunities. So with the capacity building, we really strengthened our back end operations, which allowed us just to be more organized and more structured, which in turn allowed us to reach more kids and provide more opportunities for the kids in Greensboro. A lot of people didn't even know what the foundation was, and through the capacity building, we were able to hire a consultant. We got the board together. We had a very clear mission statement now, something that everyone understands, something that everyone can get behind. So it's been a huge asset for us to have a clear messaging across the board throughout our whole organization.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Michael Harden, and I am the president and CEO of Mock Academy Incorporated. The capacity building program has had a tremendous impact on the participants in our program, and we are appreciative to the USTA's support. We were able to make significant investments in computer technology, which allowed us to provide our participants with virtual learning opportunities through Zoom and Google Meet. Our participation in the program also allowed us to participate in numerous USTA tournaments, giving our participants critical competitive experience, exposure, and confidence. Mock Academy lost its executive director, who was one of the key figures to the success of our organization for over 17 years. Prior to going through the capacity building program, I, as the CEO, did not plan appropriately for the loss of such a key figure of our organization. I have learned through this tragic occurrence and through the capacity building program how important it is to invest in cross-training to ensure thoughtful leadership succession.
Thank you, Cindy, Susie, Dwight, Mike, and Michael. As the charitable entity of the United States Tennis Association, the USTA Foundation believes that combining tennis and education can be life-changing. A big thank you to ESPN, the Manitou Fund, and Grace and Mercy Foundation for not only supporting our mission, but believing in our mission. Their support of the USTA Foundation through the Capacity Building Initiative continues to change lives. We'll hear from Angela Woods, ESPN Senior Director of Corporate Citizenship, and Grace and Mercy Foundation's co-presidents, Sumi Kim and Christopher McPadden now.
Hello. On behalf of ESPN, I'd like to congratulate USTA Foundation's second National Capacity Building Cohort. You've done the hard work. You've put in the time to grow and scale your programs for the future. So congratulations on all that you've achieved, and for the many youth you will be able to serve as a result of your involvement. I wish you much continued success, all the best, and congratulations once again on behalf of ESPN.
Hello to our friends at the USTA Foundation from Sumi Kim and Chris McPadden in New York City. We are co-presidents of the Grace and Mercy Foundation, and we thank you for your partnership.
Congratulations to you, the 22 chapters who just graduated, for your perseverance, hard work, and dedication to providing free tennis and education to thousands of students around the country.
We celebrate your accomplishments and look forward to your service to other NJTL chapters as they learn from your experience. Congratulations.
Thank you, Angela and ESPN, and Sumi and Chris from Grace and Mercy for your support of the foundation and our capacity building program. Another valued supporter of the capacity building program is Nora McNeely Hurley. Nora is a trustee and chief program officer of the Manitou Fund's Nora McNeely Hurley silo. She asked me to share this letter with today's graduates. Dear friends, providing opportunities for children to grow and learn is a joyful endeavor. I offer my sincerest congratulations to you on your graduation from the USTA Foundation's National Capacity Building Program. I am so proud of your dedication to your students and your own professional development. True leaders remain teachable. Over the past 3 years, you have shown your commitment to being a lifelong learner, gaining the tools and resources necessary to lead your NJTL chapter and students to success. It is my pleasure to support this program and to support you. Leaders also understand what is important in the face of an emergency. You faced incredible challenges in 2020 and have continued to serve your students. I encourage you to keep moving forward. We know that the youth we serve still have so many things to learn as they prepare for college and beyond. USTA Foundation's National Capacity Building Program has prepared you for nonprofit leadership in 2021. You are now graduates of a very special group of community leaders who made a direct impact on the ground. Your efforts will change the lives of so many. I applaud your work as you continue to serve up dreams for our nation's children. With gratitude, Nora McNeely Hurley. Thank you to the Manitou Fund and to Nora for its tremendous support. Graduates, to celebrate your achievement, your class will be recognized with a brick on the Avenue of Aces on the grounds of the National Tennis Center. And hopefully you will have an opportunity to see it soon. Now we will hear from the last 6 chapters who have not heard from yet. Enjoy listening to these remarkable leaders give words of wisdom for the next capacity building participants. Tell us about their favorite experience at the training and passionately explain how the program has impacted their participants.
Hi, my name is Peg Perez from the Delray Beach Youth Tennis Foundation here in Delray Beach, Florida. My words of wisdom would be to take advantage of the years of experience of the USTA Foundation's professionals who have been working with NJTL chapters for many, many years. I believe that the stronger the foundation when starting out, the better the chance for longevity. Creating a strong, diverse, and community-based board is the foundation of your organization. A succinct mission statement will make it easier to promote your chapter, build community relations, and raise monies to support it. Always be open to relationships within the community and look for ways to highlight the uniqueness of your NJTL chapter.
What words of wisdom do you have for chapters that are just beginning their journey in capacity building?
Don't be afraid. The guidance, hand-holding, and mentorship offered by the capacity building program, its leaders, and fellow NJTL chapters was very motivating, and it instilled a lot of confidence.
I agree. Yeah, definitely second that, not being afraid. And also, I think that there's this sort of pressure of like, okay, we have to impress our funders, you know, and not be totally honest about our weaknesses when we get into a program like this. But I think in this case, the fact that we all showed up so honestly and vulnerably and authentically like meant that we were able to really show up and help each other where we needed it most. And I think that caused a lot of growth. So don't be afraid to be honest and real either.
Thank you.
What surprised me the most about the capacity building program was when First Serve Miami started its journey, we were operating in a pace where we knew we needed to be better. And we were always asking ourselves, where are we now, and where did we want to go, and how are we going to get there? And those 3 questions covered a lot of areas such as strategic planning, budgets, fundraising, policies and procedures, staffing, board meetings, how to deal with your board, dealing with municipalities, you know, the parks and recs, capitalizing on opportunities, overcoming challenges. And I'm sure you all are nodding your head because I know that you may be currently experiencing that. I go, but what surprised me about being in the capacity building program, it kind of honed in on those areas and it made us better through their surveys, through their work plans, through the one-on-one coaching with your assigned mentor, the USTA Foundation staff, and I can go on. And what surprised me, and to this day, even I know when we graduate, that they're going to still be there if we need it. So for me, it was the surprising was the unconditional support, the no judging, and the can-do attitude, and how can we help you.
Hi, everyone. I really wish that we could be at this graduation in person because I miss seeing you guys. The capacity building program gave us the tools and the knowledge to help us expand both our board and our volunteer base. When we first started the program, we only had a 3-member board. And there was a high risk of burnout amongst those 3 board members. So, you know, the first thing that we did was to begin to document the duties and the responsibilities of the board, using a lot of nonprofit material, and set about expanding our board with individuals that provided us the 3 W's: wisdom, wealth, and work. And then we've also documented where we needed volunteers by creating a series of 5 committees with very, micro and definable role, duties, and responsibilities. And that's worked out really well because then people could choose where they wanted to serve with their, that would utilize their talents the best.
It's hard to pinpoint what my most favorite experience is because I feel like we had so many. So first I would say when our board chair, who doesn't know how to play tennis, stepped on a tennis court with only people who really knew how to play tennis. And when I think her partner was Troy. And when Troy was tossing her second ball because she missed her first serve, when he tossed the ball to her, she tried to hit it because she didn't understand that the ball was supposed to go across the net by herself. So I think that was one of my favorite moments. I think early on, I think about some of the intimate conversations I had with Jerry and Dwight in the back of the bus. I also think about, obviously, the late nights, Carrie Ann's fireside chats. Not really. They weren't fireside chats, but, and they weren't intimate either. They were, it was just maybe 10, 12 of us sitting around, chatting about our organizations, chatting about our personal lives. I think all of the qualities that I think maybe we take for granted in being able to be in person, which I know that I really miss now. But I truly respect and admire all my colleagues, and I think the cohort trainings just allowed me to be able to express that, to be able to share resources and ideas, and to be able to enjoy and get to know everybody as a person.
The answer to this question is easy. It's increased the opportunity for us to make a positive difference in the lives of our program participants. Let's have one of our students, Isabel Cluett, explain how.
I was not a good kid. I was a very big troublemaker. I was sent to the dean's office multiple times, and a lot of my teachers and some of the staff did not believe I was going to go anywhere in life. And so I had no motivation until tennis came into my life. And receiving that scholarship, it really meant a lot. Sorry. And it just really helped me see that something that I did just for volunteering has made a big impact, and that I was able to earn something that I felt like I didn't really know I was gonna get.
Thank you, Peg, Dawn, Brittany, Angie, Sadie, Susan, and Dave. And Isabel, thank you for sharing your beautiful story. This is why we all do what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, time to wrap up our program. Thank you all for attending, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to the section staff, foundation supporters, and all who logged on this evening. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you to the program participants, and thank you again to ESPN, Manitou, and Grace and Mercy, and the USTA for helping the USTA Foundation grow opportunities for our chapters. We look forward to this continued engagement that supports the Foundation's mission to bring tennis and education together to change the lives of our NJTL participants. Please give a final round of applause for the 2020 Capacity Building Cohort graduates. We'll close with a final video. Good night.